Hi, I'm Emma, and I'm a huge book nerd.
You're my library, always open for business, but you never show it. You're just sitting with it, but I know the score, and you're killing.
If you came over here from my Bookstagram, you would know me as Emma's Books and Bubbles. I thought that since I love books so much, I would share some of my favorite books with whoever's watching. I try not to buy a lot of books. I try to only buy books that I know I will someday want to read again. So I tend to buy books that I really, really like. So I have a couple, 4 actually. That's not a couple, that's 2 couples that I want to share. Anyways, I want to share these books with you. The first one that I have in this stack here is Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. And I actually read this book when I was recovering from wisdom tooth surgery, so I was on a lot of wisdom tooth surgery drugs, and so that probably made this book even funnier, but I have actually read it again since then, and it's still really funny even if you're not on drugs. Don't do drugs, they're dangerous. This book is a memoir by the blogger Jenny Lawson, and she writes funny blog posts about what it's like to have anxiety and depression. And so this book is full of funny stories from her life, and it's really interesting because it's a funny book about serious things, which is actually, the tagline is a funny book about horrible things, which is very true. And this raccoon on the cover is actually a real taxidermied raccoon that she has, and we'll tell you all about if you read the book. Highly recommend. Funniest book I have ever read. The second book I have to show you is Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell, and I don't really like contemporary, like young adult contemporary usually, but this is definitely an exception. There are a few exceptions, and maybe I'll make a video about that later, like my favorite contemporary young adults, if this goes well. Mention it in the comments if you want to see that video. Anyways, Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell is about 2 high school students a boy and a girl, who become unlikely friends and then, of course, fall in love because, you know, that's kind of what this is about. But this is actually my favorite Rainbow Rowell that I've read. I have also read Fangirl and Attachments. I haven't read Carry On yet. I know, it's on my list. It's fine. I'll get to it. But yeah, this is my favorite. I just think it's really different. It's not what you would expect from a young adult contemporary, and it's really sweet and really funny, and probably the cutest little romance I've ever read, and they're both such unique people. They're not your stereotypical high school student struggling with a relationship. So yeah, I really love this one. And then, I don't even know what genre. This is just like, well, sci-fi, I guess. Yeah, it'd be sci-fi, right? Maybe? I don't know. Tell me, what genre is this book? I love this book so much. I read it about a year ago, and I haven't reread it yet, but I really want to reread this one. I said this was my favorite book of 2016. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and I was completely sucked in from start to finish. I could not put this book down. I think I read it in 2 days, but it's a little more dense than a book you can probably plow through in a day, but it's so good. And the mix of comedy and adventure and suspense all in one book really sucked me in, and I highly recommend this, especially as a summer read. There's something about it that's nice. It makes sense to read in the warm weather. I don't know quite what it is, maybe because it's hot on Mars, but I don't know. I highly recommend this one. My last book that I want to talk about today is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. And this is one of my favorite books of all time. I have read this all the way through 3 times now, and every time I read it in one sitting, and I cry from start to finish because this book is such a powerful representation of grief and like what it means to grieve and what it really feels like, and it's so beautiful. Like, I have the illustrated edition, and you have these beautiful illustrations throughout the book. And I just absolutely love this book. There are so many great quotes. Like even just the very first sentence I'll read for you. The monsters showed up just after midnight, as they do. And there's just something about starting a book like that where the first time I read it, I was like, what is this? What is this about? And I could talk to you about this book forever. In fact, if you want to see a separate review of this book or a comparison of book to movie, because I also really enjoyed the movie, I would be happy to do that. So comment down below if you would like to see that. Those are my 4 favorite books that I have on my shelf right now. There are more books that I really love, but I just don't own them, or I've lent them out to someone at the moment. But these are probably my 4 favorite that I have on my shelf right now, and I just really wanted to share those with you. If you've read these books, let me know what you thought of them down below in the comments, and please like and subscribe so that this thing can take off and be a thing, because I love talking about books. Bye!